Hello and welcome to this very special 40th episode of the Denver Homes Market Report. This is Ricky Schoonover of Mode Real Estate. It's been one heck of a year. As we reflect on this past year of 2020, certainly one for the record books. 2020 started off okay. None of us could have predicted back in January or even February the events that were about to be unleashed upon the entire planet. I was just finishing up a project I'd been working on, and just about the time that it was ready to bring this home to market, the entire bottom fell out. And to top it off, I had just put an offer in on another house for my next project. And then a week later, we're in full lockdown. The level of uncertainty was pretty high. The real estate market didn't know what to do. I had no idea if I was going to be able to sell this house, which I had been working on for the past 3 months. And beyond that, how am I ever going to complete the sale on this new house, which I just put an offer on for my next project? If you listen to my podcast on a regular basis, you have already heard my recent episode where I recount living through the pure nightmare of 2009 to 2012. You then know I found myself way overextended in real estate and the real possibility of losing not only the first condo I had ever purchased, but another that I had bought with my then boyfriend, now husband, and another house which my sister, my brother-in-law, and I all purchased for my parents and 3 young children they had just recently adopted and needed a place to move into. Now that near-miss financial catastrophe luckily turned out okay. Even after buying more real estate than I could handle, well, at the time I purchased it, I could handle it. But with this financial meltdown, things got a little hairy. All that being said, I have never lost a dime in real estate. Every single transaction I have ever closed on, in the end, when I sold the home, I ended up making money. Even living through the worst mortgage and housing meltdown of the past 100 years. So here I am. I have one house ready to go to market. I had not made a dime in about 3 months because I was spending all my time and all my money pouring into this remodel. Feeling pretty good. Knowing this home was almost done and, I was starting to look for my next project. So I offered on another one. Well, then things quickly turned with COVID. All of a sudden, we could not even leave the house. The sale of my now finished home was up in the air. The Department of Real Estate wasn't sure either. So to err on the side of caution, they first stopped all in-person showings. No open houses. And in fact, for a brief bit of time there, you could not even show a home to a prospective buyer unless you already had a signed purchase agreement, meaning your buyer had to offer to purchase the home 100% sight unseen. Of course, they could drive through the neighborhood, they could look at virtual tours, but they were not allowed inside the home until the buyer and seller had a signed purchase agreement. So I was not sure where the market was headed, and not wanting to relive my situation from back in 2009 to 2012 era, I had to cancel that one deal. However, luckily for me, for the home that I was selling, my photographer did an amazing job with my house, and I had it ready for market. We found a family who was relocating to Denver, and they needed a place to live. They drove the neighborhood, they checked out the virtual tour, and they did their research online. They felt pretty good about the price and the quality of the remodel, and they submitted an offer sight unseen, of course, with the contingency that they would get to see the inside once we had the signed contract. Now, I did not make a ton of money on this home. It was an incredible amount of work and risk for just about 3 months. However, it was also a ton of weight off my shoulders to actually get the home sold under these intense guidelines. This all went down last year, right around April timeframe. The market was pretty dead from April till about June. when we finally started to learn more about this virus and how it was really spread and the precautions we as a real estate industry could take to keep ourselves and our clients safe while conducting real estate transactions. However, that stint of uncertainty took its toll. There were not many houses coming to market from April till about July of 2020. However, the demand didn't let up. This led to another serious issue. I'm no economics genius, but it doesn't take much economics education to realize when you have a huge majority of people getting ready to put their homes up for sale, and then they do not for nearly 3 to 4 months. And that's traditionally Denver's busiest time for real estate. What ended up happening was there was not very many homes available. The world just doesn't stop revolving. Job transfers still happen, military orders, which had been planned for the past year, still happen. Babies continue to be born. Things in life that had been planned in and around buying a new home just didn't stop because of COVID. Bottom line, the real estate market got really competitive. The inventory low and going lower, the demand high and going higher, and then prices start ratcheting up. Then we hit into the fall and now winter. I had one client who wanted to buy a house. He didn't need a big house, but he wanted a garage, a yard, and at least 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. He wanted to move out from the Central Park area and closer to the mountains. He really wanted to stay below a certain price point. But in all the MLS that fit his criteria, there were just 10 homes available for sale. 10, that's it. Not 10 homes he liked, not 10 homes he could see himself living in. No, just 10. Out of that 10, I'm not sure if any of them had the right neighborhood or the right layout or were even in acceptable condition for him. Now, we went forward and listed his home, and I informed him his townhome was worth more in this current market than even he was thinking. In fact, I was confident. I had just sold another home for another client and got $25,000 over asking. So when I took his townhouse to market, I knew the current conditions. I knew the online estimates were way off base. I was confident I could get his house sold for $25,000 more than what he was even thinking. I was right. And that first weekend, we got a very strong offer and were able to get his townhouse under contract. We then waited until his current deal was past inspections, and then we went out and found his new home. We are now under contract on both deals, with one scheduled to close on January 20th. He gets his money from the sale. We then go in the next morning, January 21st, and he can buy his new home. Knock on wood, if all goes as planned, of course. We had his home inspection on his new home this past weekend, and sure, there were a few minor concerns, but we'll press the seller to address the issues. But overall, the home is in great shape, and it's in the neighborhood he was really wanting, and he has his yard, his 2-car garage. I think we hit most of his wants. So here we are. 2021 starts tomorrow. We still do not have many homes available for sale. If you're thinking of selling your home in 2021, I do not recommend you wait for spring. There will be a glut of homes to hit the market. Homes that were probably planned for last year and never came to market. People were scared, myself included. However, those fears, thank goodness, never really panned out. The real estate market continued on. We mandated masks, we used single-use gloves, lots of sanitizer, we limited in-person showings, and we stopped allowing overlapping appointments. We wiped down the homes before and after showings with sanitizer wipes. In short, the real estate industry overall did an amazing job in adapting to this new normal. If you did not put your home up for sale last year, you may find that your home is worth even more this year. However, as more and more homes flood the market in the spring, the prices that have built up over the past 4 to 5 months may not quite hold up as much as more homes come to market. Buyers will have more choices and more time in market to make those decisions. And when this happens, prices often start to come down overall. We very well may see a situation where the folks that sell in this winter end up making more money on the sale of their home than those who wait until the spring, when there's a glut of homes flooding the market for the spring market. Now, I still think our demand will be strong this spring. However, now with the inventory being as low as it is, I know sellers are getting top dollar in short periods of time here as of late. We'll have to see how the spring market pans out. I don't think there's going to be much effect of the vaccines until late 2021. Even then, I think masks, single-use gloves, and sanitizer are going to be with us for a while. Actually, on that note, I've kind of gotten used to the mask, and I could see them coming around, at least seasonally to ward off even the flu on an annual basis. I remember back in summer, it felt strange putting on a mask in public. Now it's second nature. I don't even think about it. I just put it on as I leave the house. I don't feel strange walking through the grocery store or even out walking the pups. Physical distancing in public, also something I could kind of get used to. I never really liked being too close to strangers anyway. Now it's not unusual to keep our distance in public. Now, I do miss our fist bump or our elbow bump and the occasional hugs with my client. I hope we can at least get back to that. Maybe the handshake is gone. Well, at least for now. So, as we close out 2020, let's ring in 2021. I know the vaccines are being distributed slower than we want, but at least they're out there. They seem to be safe. They seem to be effective. I know I'm a bit far down the list of recipients, but I'm looking forward to travel. My nephew and his wife just had twins, and I would love to fly to the East Coast and meet the babies. I'd like to take a cruise in the next couple of years. Maybe a trip to Vegas will be fun. However, I'm in no hurry. I'll wait till the vaccines really start making a dent in this virus before venturing out on any major travel. In the meantime, the real estate market is healthy. We could for sure use some more listings to be available, for the level of buyers who are out there hunting. However, I'm just glad the industry as a whole took the precautions they did and kept the market moving. Now, I want to talk to both my buyers and my sellers out there. First, buyers. Ladies and gentlemen, the interest rates are low. I mean, below 3%, fixed for 30 years low. That gives you massive buying power. If you were told, maybe a couple years ago you checked with a mortgage broker and the interest rates were around 5% and you could purchase a home for somewhere around $450,000, you may now be able to buy a home for about the same payment as a $600,000 home. Think about that for a minute. I mean, just for fun, let's get on my website, www.denverhomesmarket.com. Let's see how many homes total available at $450,000. Let's look at a typical 3-bedroom, 2-bath in the entire market. We have just 291 homes. Now, that's not just Denver. That's our entire MLS, which reaches all the way up towards Loveland, all the way down towards Colorado Springs, from east of Aurora and on out to the Front Range. But in all that area, under $450,000, there are only 291 homes. Now, let's bump that buying power up to 600,000. When you go to 600,000, you go from having 291 homes to having 434 homes to choose from. So at 5% interest rates, you were able to qualify for 450,000, which just gives you 291 options. Now with rates below 3%, you qualify for 600,000. Now you have 434. That's an additional 143 homes to choose from. That is your buying power right now as a buyer. Okay, sellers, ladies and gentlemen, the market inventory is low. Buyers have unprecedented buying power. And Denver was just voted in the top 10 of cities where big tech companies are looking to transfer from those expensive coastal cities to somewhere where their employees can work remotely. So if everyone waits till spring to sell, we may end up flooding the market with new listings where there are more homes to choose from. The buyers will start having more time, and sure, you'll get more tire kickers. But the folks out there buying now through the winter are motivated buyers. And on that note, let's collectively bid farewell and following seas to 2020. Push that year over the proverbial edge of the flat earth. You know, if there was ever a time I did wish the earth was flat, that we could push something over the edge, it would be the year 2020. We look forward to 2021, the vaccines, and getting back on track. Again, this is Ricky Schoonover of Mode Real Estate. I would love to answer your questions and get you set up to buy and or sell in the year 2021. Give me a call direct, 720-688-5110. Let's discuss your real estate needs. Have a happy and safe New Year's. I look forward to you tuning in next week. Remember, my podcast comes out every Thursday before 5 p.m.